Sure. My name is Gavin Weiser, and I am a qualitative researcher um, in a college of education, and I engage in multiple forms of research, most passionately in visual and arts-based research, using either photo voice, photo novella, photo elicitation, kind of all wrapped up somehow connected, as well as using zines to explore the experiences of college students predominantly. I teach and research in a post-secondary program. That is kind of what I do in a nutshell. I'm also very interested in and think about kind of the philosophies and ethics around research methods, how to create more just research methods, knowing that research is, for many communities, a very dirty word that has been used to exploit communities. And so how can we decolonize research to be more ethical and engage with the communities in which we are trying to work aside with?
Great.
Well, part of it goes with the idea that I became really interested a long time ago with the kind of idea of the rationality of research, right? And people approach research as this like really rational method. And I don't agree that life is rational, and that humans are rational. Like we aren't able to be put and studied as if we were cells in a petri dish, or astrophysics, or understanding kind of the gravity of suns, right? People are chaotic. And so I kind of try to just like distance myself from that conversation, be like, I'm not trying to do anything where it's a rational approach to research. Instead, it's like, let's engage in the messiness, the chaos that is humankind. And art, I feel, is an extension of chaos for some. Not all art, but and not all artists, but for some, it's a way to just kind of say, forget it, and let's engage and be intentional in that irrationality of research. I'm also very interested in emotions and affect, which have long been kind of put on the polar opposite of rationality. And so for me, it's kind of a pastiche of all of that together, right? Like the irrationality, emotionality, and just giving up against the white cis heteronormative project of rational research. Like I'm not interested in that. That's there. If you're interested in that, fine. But let's do something different and see that clearly has not worked in human liberation over the past 1,200 years. And so let's try something new.
Mm,
There are lots.
sure.
And so with qualitative research in general is for some still derided. I was in a dissertation proposal defense with an external committee member, and the student was talking about a qualitative dissertation with 12 participants. And I was like, wow, that's a big sample size for a qual dissertation. And the person was like, oh, this is not enough, we need more participants. And I was like, oh, I've seen really high quality dissertations with an N of one when you start talking about narrative inquiry and other forms of qualitative research. And so it's just misunderstood and ignored and thought to be less rigorous. When for many of us who do qual, we're not really interested in the same connotations of rigor or validity. So that's one of the things, particularly with arts-based research, is we have been taught from a very early age what art is and what art looks like. And so I identify as an artist, but I did not for a very long time because I was taught that my drawings, my paintings, my poetry was not on the same plateau as professional artists, and so was not good enough. And so um, I I I don't agree with that, obviously. But when you're trying to engage in arts-based research with young people who've internalized those messages, um, many of the first things they have to overcome is the notion that they too can create something that is meaningful and beautiful. In one of my research projects, one of the big takeaways was the connections that the artists made between one another because they were sharing with one another, and this is kind of like a focus group where they're collaborating and making collaborative art. They were able to connect with one another over their tentativeness to even create. And so they were able to build affinity with one another over that shared awkward experience of creating art. I think encouragement is good, particularly for those young people who think that they're not creating something that is important. One of the things that I love about qualitative research is that it centers the importance of the person and persons that are talking or creating. And so it enables us to, put some great work of art that is hanging in museums right next to the stick figure art that a young person who is tentatively creating something, and put them side by side, and you can make comparisons and talk about what is this saying, what is this saying. And I think they're both really interesting conversations to have. And so I would say, the encouragement and creating with them. I'm really interested in community and collaborative based research and participatory research. And when you're in there working and creating side by side, and maybe it's even better if you're not a great artist, right? Because then you can like illustrate, like, listen, like we are all in this together. We are all creating something that might be laughed at, but it's important uh, because it is highlighting and centering your experiences. And for some people, that might be the first time they've ever heard that. And it is true. We all are important people to ourselves, hopefully, and certainly to others.